Greece is at it again. They just got off their own bailout from the Troika, and now they are considering bailing out their banks. How is it possible that their banking system is remotely stable? The failure of our current economic model is ever present. Greece is simply facing the music earlier than other countries. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. I have a very quick video to get to today talking about Greece. I also want to talk about the EU in general, and I want to begin by taking a look at this article out of Bloomberg. Greece is weighing a plan to help banks speed up their bad loan disposals, possibly including a government guarantee in a bid to restore confidence in the battered sector, people familiar with the matter said. So this, right away I want to mention, is not official. It's not necessarily going to happen, but certainly we've seen it occur countless times before. So it wouldn't surprise me, and I know it wouldn't surprise you either. While the details are still being worked out, the proposal would see lenders unload some of their bad loans into what they love to call special purpose vehicles, also known as SPVs, taking them off the bank's balance sheets. The SPVs would issue bonds, some backed by the state, and sell them to investors, the people said. And so think about this. They're going to take their debt, they're going to package it up, and they're going to sell it off to investors. If that's not complete insanity, I really don't know what is. Think about it. They could make it SPV. They can call it an STD for all I care. All right? A special purpose vehicle is nothing but terminology used to confuse the investor. It's no different than what we saw with the subprime being rated AAA. They're literally taking all the garbage. So let's say this is Greece. All right? Their banking system here. All of these banks, all the banks have this big pile of garbage in here, all right? And what do? Well, they lop off a piece of that, and they take that piece and they sell it off to an investor. But an investor's not going to buy it just like that. They have to package it up with a little fancy bow on top. And then they get their friends in the rating agencies to rate it AAA, and you have yourself a beautiful investment. Not so nice. The move comes after a sell-off that saw Greek banks drop more than 40% this year and plunge over the last week amid doubts that they can clean up their balance sheets fast enough. While they cleared a European central bank-led stress test garbage, lenders are under mounting pressure from supervisors to cut their bad debt holdings so that they can extend credit and help support economic growth. We've got a problem going on in Greece, but that problem extends to Italy, it extends to Spain, and basically every other country. They're just feeling it first. The Greek Finance Ministry and the Bank of Greece are planning to completely abolish capital controls by late this year or early next year. Now remember, when they brought this in, I covered the issue, obviously. And many people, while it wasn't severe capital controls, I mean, the current ceiling, 5,000 euros per month per bank account. Okay, so that's if it's, you want to use the terminology, reasonable. What I don't like is the fact that they restrict individuals and how much money they can pull out of the banking system, but they don't restrict their own actions. The austerity measures are applied to the individual who may need that money. What if you desperately needed that money? Well, you would have to borrow from somebody, borrow from another person, say, look, I have the money, next month I can give it to you, but you know the way it works. And so they had to do this. This is ridiculous. To leave somebody out of their own money is criminal as far as I'm concerned. But But because it's the bank, well, it's the bank. It's not a crime. Unbelievable. The full terms of Greece's bailout exit decided by the Euro group. I get a lot of criticism for my criticism of the EU, of the Eurozone, of the Euro, of the ECB. I have no criticism, however, of Europe. I'm talking about institutions. I'm talking about multilateral trade pacts that don't do anybody any good. One currency, one interest rate. None of these, as far as I'm concerned, are beneficial to any of the countries. Generally, what happens is that somebody has to lose for somebody else to win. And I don't like that. I really don't. Look at this. Perfect example of that. They can't even determine the fate of their own country. Tall order. Greek banks face mounting pressure from supervisors to reduce soured loans. So you can see whether it's the 2021 target in black and end of June, looking at their non-performing ratios. What I like to see from this is basically the fact that they're never going to be able to get these levels to where they want to be, and they're always going to be struggling, truly. Anyway, that's the different banks there. And then just last but not least, they've created things like this before. Special purpose vehicles, different institutions, organizations, and they have this European Stability Mechanism, as well as the EFSF, Euro Financial Stability Fund, I believe it's called. And these here were created in order to take the debt, package it up, sell it off to investors. Same thing I drew you a moment ago. Nothing's ever going to resolve the problem. What did you do? You packaged it up and somehow made very, very bad debt into a product. It's unbelievable the way that they can get away with this. It's like selling somebody's garbage back to them, but you wrap it in a present, put a fancy label on it, and people buy it up. That's all for this video. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. When you give me a thumbs up, it helps support the channel. I do appreciate that very much. And last but not least, if you found the video informative, I know you'll find my books, The Money GPS, and my newer release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. Definitely check these books out. There's a link in the description. If you're more interested in the audiobook version, you can get that at themoneygps.com.